This is IGN. Optimus Subprime. This is your IGN review of Transformers 1 by Tom Jorgensen. We're living in a renaissance for animated films based on toys and comics that manage to both dazzle and dig deeper. The Spider-Verse films and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem recently reinvigorated their respective heroes with both visual and narrative panache that was pitched at and landed with longtime fans and newcomers alike. In that way, Transformers 1, which has been in the works since around the time of the first Spider-Verse movie was first announced, feels late to the party and far less self-assured. Taking a cue from the eye-poppingly stacked cast of 1986's The Transformers the Movie, which featured the voices of legends including Orson Welles, Leonard Nimoy, and Scatman Carruthers, Transformers 1's robots are brought to life by high-profile talent like Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Brian Tyree Henry, Keegan-Michael Key, John Hamm, Lawrence Fishburne, and Steve Buscemi. The obvious standout from that impressive roster is Henry's D-16, whose pain and grievance with the system on the Transformers' home planet of Cybertron pushes him down his dark path towards becoming the villainous Megatron. All the Cybertron lore and backstory can be interesting at times, but not if it isn't covered with enough depth or novelty to feel fresh. It may not surprise you to hear that transformation is a major theme, but that's something Transformers 1 communicates by telling us, not showing us or making us feel it. Still, it successfully builds out the relationship between Orion Pax and the friend he calls D. Mining the fuel that drives life on Cybertron is dangerous work, and an early near disaster sets up the close bond between D-16 and Orion Pax. D is all about following the rules. Orion is a lot more loose, and the ways that those personality types first complement, then clash with each other, produce some good tension here and there. The scale issue is at its most egregious during Transformers 1's chases, races, and all-out robot warfare, which it deploys at all the expected moments. The action may be flashy and fast-paced, but good luck keeping track of what's actually going on. While the most famous Transformers' silhouettes are all stark and in keeping with what you'd imagine those characters to look like, the action is largely captured by the virtual camera in a way that turns everything into a blur of nondescript robot bodies crashing against alien landscapes and architecture. Having any sort of means of comparison becomes critical in these moments, as you're trying to understand things like where your heroes are, how fast they're going, and in what direction. Basics that Transformers 1 doesn't always account for. There are times where the battles feel like a kid slamming two Transformers toys together, and I say that with the lived experience of having done the very same thing with my Beast Wars Rat Trap and Cheetor toys as a kid. But at least in that instance, I could keep track of what was going on, who was involved, what was at stake, and where my fruit roll-up was in relation to the plastic carnage. Sadly, you can't always say the same for Transformers 1. Transformers 1's core duo of Orion Pax and D-16 and the fallout of their broken friendship provide an occasional spark, but despite the efforts of its impressive voice cast and a standout performance from Brian Tyree Henry, this animated origin story rarely shows anything more than meets the eye. Its G1-inspired aesthetic is cool in small doses, but Transformers 1 regularly fumbles trying to follow its transforming robots through the action. Though the tragedy of Optimus Prime and Megatron's storied rivalry could have felt larger than life, Transformers 1 is mostly content with half-hearted puns and barely legible Cybertronian battles that could have used some major transforming before rolling out. Transformers 1's IGN score? 5. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Transformers updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.